Mr. Chairman, I'd like to introduce Rita Mazalevskis.
Ms. Mazalevskis, nice to see you. Good morning.
Nice to see you on the East Coast this time.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. I'm a customer of Westpac for approximately 28 years. I'm a shareholder. I'm still, unfortunately, a long aggrieved customer of Westpac, and I'm also one of the founding members of Bank Warriors, who represent bank victims across Australia. So I'd like to acknowledge all my fellow bank warriors in the room and all the bank victims that may be listening across Australia. Just in relation to the interim CEO, Peter King, I guess you will understand people have reservations and there is very low trust in the board of Westpac with what has happened. I happened to come across a APRA prudential note of a meeting that Westpac had 9th of May last year, and the attendees from Westpac were Brian Hartzer, the CEO, Alexandra Holcomb, the CRO, Chief Risk Officer, I'm assuming, Peter King, who was the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and James Walker, General Manager, Regulatory Governance and Insurance. In this meeting, APRA noted through their assessment that there were 3 challenges/issues facing Westpac right now, which were strategy, mortgages, and strengthening risk governance. Then they made some notes. In these notes, they said, Brian thinks unfair everyone has to go through CBA exercise when nothing has gone wrong to CBA scale. It also says Westpac is exiting BTIM, which is BT Investment Management, as it saw a conflict by selling its own manufactured products. And thirdly, on the CBA inquiry, it also said that BH thinks that WBC, being Westpac, will do well coming out of the self-assessment. I then also happened to come across a media article in May last year, around the same time, where Peter King said the bank no longer needed the stake in BTIM because BT Financial Group's priorities centred on the distribution of wealth products. So I guess my questions are, Peter, at that time when Brian made these comments, were you aware of what Westpac is dealing with today in regards to the non-reporting? Did you raise any issues? And what were the outcomes of the meeting then in May last year with APRA? And also, which statement is correct? Is it that BTIM had a direct conflict, or that the BT Financial Group's priorities centred on the distribution of wealth products?
I think it's very hard for Peter or anyone to comment on notes from a meeting which we're not familiar with. But Peter, are there any recollections you want to say?
I would just say on BTIM, that is now the company called Pendle, and that was an asset manager that the bank owned at that point, and we were looking to sell that down because of a number of matters, including BTFG, which is a different business, having a focus on how we support wealth needs and not needing to own an asset manager.
All right, just in regards to what I said about Brian's comments, were you aware at that stage about the non-reporting of transactions?
IFTIs is something that we've reported. The non-reporting of IFTIs is something we've reported since 2018.
When in 2018?
In our annual statements.
Yeah, when would that be though? Could you tell us?
That comes back to my point before that we became aware of the issue on FTs in August of 2018 and reported that to Austrac shortly thereafter. So the board has had sight of the FT matter since that time.
Okay, and I just wanted to clarify just where you said you can't comment on a note that you don't know about. This is actually an evidence document from the Financial Services Royal Commission, so you'll be able to find it there if you're not aware of it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.